Hi everyone, it's Devereaux. Thanks for tuning in to my gun impact particles how-to videos. In today's video we're going to talk about projectiles, how to spawn the effect with projectiles. What I've done recently in a 4.16 and on update, I've put in a gun that can do both instant fire, so if you left click we have what we had before, and if you right click now we have a projectile, so when the projectile actually hits it spawns it. This has been a pretty frequently asked question on how to actually spawn these with the projectiles. So before, the pack was really set up just for the particles. Now the pack has a few options for you to actually see an example of how to install it into a gun that's instant fire or a projectile based firing system. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick here. Go ahead and F11, get out of here. And what I'll go ahead and go to is our gun that I have in there now. So I'll open this up to the first person character, and then what you see is the firing. So basically what we have here is the right mouse button is spawning a projectile, so we'll spawn this projectile, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then for the left click button is just like the level blueprint as before. So if you guys remember previously, the level blueprint had the example, so we open that up, and this exact example is basically put into the gun now. So let me go ahead and do that back to there. So this starts your firing, does your weapon tracing, and then as based off the surface hit, the effect is set here. Now that's the quick way to do it. I'll go ahead and show you the projectile side. So whenever we do the projectile, I'll go open that up. It's underneath the BP first person projectile blueprint. We'll open that up, and when you go inside here, there is an event hit. So basically this can be called from anything, any kind of projectile, any kind of bullet, anything that has on impact an event hit notification. From that point we want to spawn the particles for our projectile. So what I do is I created a function that we have to call. We feed in the hit location to this function called spawn particles, and in this spawn particles what we do is get the actual location of where the projectile is and subtract it from the or take the hit location, subtract the current location of the projectile to get the direction, normalize it, just get rid of the magnitudes, and then we sit there, multiply it times 100 and add it to the original location to get a distance farther than the hit point. If you just use the hit point in location from where it hit before, it may not actually go far enough to do a trace. So what you want to do is extend that out farther. So we want to retrace the hit the material itself. And then also make sure you include yourself to ignore on the line trace. Then once the line trace happens, we go ahead and make sure we hit something. And then once we hit something, we just switch on what material that we hit. A dirt, rock, sand, and based on that we set the particle that we want. And then here is the special piece that we have to make my particles work, because I have a vector parameter that needs to be set to it. What we have is a particle template that's been set up there, and it comes down to be spawned. And then we have reflective particles, and basically this is all taken care of for you here of the reflection vector based off the impact normal of what it hit. So you don't have to pay too much attention to that. The other last thing that was a new feature added in the last update is particle size scale. So if we want to change the size of this particle system, we can do 2 times or 0.5 and change it this way too. So from that point forward, it's pretty straightforward to actually get this to work. And if you have any questions, please leave comments, and thanks again for watching. Bye.